We now kickstart the first of 13 races here on finals day. And up first, it's going to be the second chance heat for senior Rotax. Let's take you through the starting order. Oscar Christensen will start on pole position and will be joined by Francis Baptiste Schneider on the front row. Theo Eriksen and Mats-Johan Overhoff, row number 2 with Tim Stipitz and Louis Juin rounding out the top 3 rows. Alfie Briggs and Miro Halika, row number 4. Bas Janssen's cart, the 801 from the Netherlands, was put onto the trolley just before they let the carts go. Amerik Boré due to start on 10th position. Behind Amerik will be Scott Westhovens and Lilian Richard. Anthony Bilou has not crossed the timing beam, so I would imagine that he will not be starting. Tom Bouou, Kylian Ferret, Stefan Lemonot due to start 14th, 15th and 16th. Peter Valtor Roche, Kieran Kay, Larkiron Sorensen and Bert Dorrestein, with Roche and Dorrestein not coming out of the pre-grid, so might have opted to not start. So the top 6 after the results of this second chance heat have been confirmed and ratified post technical and sporting matters. We'll then proceed to the first of 2 senior Rotax finals taking place at 12:05 local time here at Val d'Argenton, the second round of the Euro Trophy season. And in 43 days, we head back to Belgium. Won't be heading back to Karting Genk, but we'll be heading to Karting de Fagne in Marienborg between the 8th and the 10th of July. So drivers making their way round the final corner into the tram lines. Revs rise, noise increases, lights are out. We're off and racing here on finals day, and it's a run down to Clubhouse for the first time. Oscar Christensen leads the field. Theo Eriksen getting up the inside of Baptiste Schneider. Bas Janssen now exits the pre-grid and starts all the way back down in 17th position after the 16 drivers in front did their sighting and formation lap. Down the back straight away we go for the first time of asking. Looks like Tim Stipitz has got his way up into 3rd position. And the 340 of Larkiron Sorensen has stopped out on track. And that is on the right-hander onto the back start finish, back straight away on this 1,280-metre circuit. As the top 4 very close together. Christensen leads, ahead of Schneider. Eriksen and Overhoff rounding out the top 4 positions. Well, it's actually Alfie Briggs. Baptiste Schneider up into 5th place. Louis Juin in 6th. Miro Halika, Scott Westhovens round out the top 8. Mats-Johan Overhoff now finds himself in 9th position. So down the back straight away. Looks like Alfie Briggs has got himself up into 3rd position in the meantime. So the 382 from the United Kingdom, based out of Banbury in Oxfordshire, looking to try and move to the front of the field. But it's Oscar Christensen and Theo Eriksen leading the charge. And in the top 6 at the moment, it's Tim Stipitz. Well, it's Alfie Briggs, Tim Stipitz, Baptiste Schneider and Louis Juin rounding out the top 6. Miro Halika is on the bubble of maybe getting in. Is Alfie Briggs in the slipstream of Theo Eriksen heading down into Clubhouse. Eriksen goes defensive. Stipitz right on the back bumper. Also, along with Larkiron Sorensen, Kieran Kay's weekend has come to an abrupt end in 3:43 from KR Sport, and will not be taking any further participation in the race itself as we're down into the last 7 minutes and 55 seconds. Top 4 line astern through the double right-hander off of the back start, finished back straight away. And Alfie Briggs looking for the move up the inside of Theo Eriksen, and that's going to open the door for Tim Stipitz. And the Austrian also gets through. So a change from 2nd to 4th position at the drop of a hat for Theo Eriksen from Norway. Baptiste Schneider looks to be closing in on them as well. In the 5th place, Gillard Chassis on the 386. And there's a fight happening between Louis Juin in 7th and Miro Halika from Finland. That's for the last place in the top 6. Just over 7 minutes to go, plus an additional lap. So we're down to 17 starters because Bilou, Horsch and Dorrestein did not take to the pre-grid. Kieran Kay and Lakeron Sorensen out on the very first lap. Fastest lap of the race so far. Alfie Briggs on lap number 2 was a 51.536 second lap time. Now he's charging after our race leader because now it's Theo Eriksson, because Oscar Christiansen has dropped all the way to 4th position. And Alfie Briggs looks to have now taken the lead, having got through past on Theo Eriksson for the lead of the race itself. So Alfie Briggs, having started 7th, now has got himself in the prime position of being at the sharp end of the field. Theo Eriksson is just behind in the number 380 from Dams Racing as they hurtle their way through the final right-hand sweeper that brings them back onto the start-finish straight. We're just over 30 seconds away from the timer hitting the halfway point. As Oscar Christiansen now trying to see if he can exercise a move past Tim Stipitz from Austria. Now up into 3rd place. Stipitz started down on the inside of row number 3. He's a little bit further back. I think that's Louis Juin ahead of Miro Halika from Finland. And then Halika loses another position, this time to the 8.10 of Lilian Richard on the Tony Kart chassis. So they make their way through Dunlop, the final hairpin at the top right-hand corner of the circuit. And still drivers battling away. So Miro Halika now finding himself in 8th position and outside of the top 6 as we've got 4.5 minutes remaining on the counter plus an additional lap. But still the top 4 can't really be separated that much. It was just under 0.7 of a second after 6 laps of racing. Alfie Briggs starting to pull away from Theo Eriksson. Oscar Christiansen in the draft behind Tim Stipitz. And Tim Stipitz stuck between a rock and a hard place at the moment because the Austrian is in the middle of both Theo Eriksson and Oscar Christiansen. That's the battle for 2nd, 3rd and 4th as Alfie Briggs has extended his lead to just under 0.37 of a second as they hurtle their way down the back straightaway once again on lap number 8 of this race. Baptiste Schneider has dropped away from the quartet in front, but now that Stipitz and Christensen are battling, this is going to give the number 386 an opportunity to close on in and maybe have a crack at the top 4. Louis Juin is a further 0.959 seconds adrift in 6th position, but is only 0.3 ahead of Lilian Richard in the 8.10 entry. Alfie Briggs just managing the gap, which is just under, once again, after the previous tour. 8 of them in total have been circulated around this 1,280 metre circuit. 0.382 for the Brit is his lead at the moment over Theo Eriksson. Further back, the 8.11 of Louis Juin coming under increasing pressure from Lilian Richard as they go through Piff-Paff, through the nigh on straight line, that chicane, through into the right-hander, and it looks like the move has been made by Richard up the inside of Juin. The pair swap places before the final corner. Richard looks over the right shoulder, Joao right in the slipstream, going down through turn one. A little bit further back, we've got Scott Westhoven's battling away with Mats Johan Overhoff. That's the battle for 9th place as we're into the final 2 minutes. Richard under severe pressure from Joao right at the minute. As they go onto the back straightaway, Richard looks over the right shoulder, then the left shoulder in rapid succession. Through into the first of the 2 double right-handers. Through the second they go. Whilst that is happening, Miro Halika is starting to catch them back up. So the Finn could get an opportunity to reclaim that 6th position by the checkered flag. Leaders now making their way through into the final corner once again. Alfie Briggs still leads. Theo Eriksson. Tim Stipitz coming under pressure now from Oscar Christiansen. In the battle for P3. And now they're closing on Theo Eriksson in respect of the pace that they are showing. Baptiste Schneider trying to close in on them as well. Schneider was about half a tenth quicker than Christiansen. But Lilia Richard Nui-Juin, they've got the likes of Miro Halika, Scott Westhovens and Mats Johan Overhoff trying to chase them down. Not much longer until this race concludes. Still a great battle. It sort of stagnated somewhat, but it could end up getting a bit fiery between 2nd, 3rd and 4th in the latter stages. We're going to go on to the 12th and penultimate lap out of 13. And 2nd, 3rd and 4th, Eriksson, Stipitz and Christensen all in a line heading down into Clubhouse. No one trying to put their cards on the table quite yet. And that could happen on the final lap of this race. What's more, Lilia Richard still hanging on ahead of Louis Juin for that 6th place, but up the inside goes the 8-11 through the hairpin onto the back straightaway to take that position. And here comes Miro Halika and tussles, and all of a sudden it's a 540-degree spin for Miro Halika, who looked to go up the inside, got squeezed and turned and ended up turned around as a direct result. Halika had a good run on Richard on that particular occasion, but that means that both their chances of getting through into the top 36 in senior road tax have fallen by the wayside. Last lap board is out and Alfie Briggs has a lead of 0.65 of a second. Eriksson still defending ahead of Stipitz and Christensen. I think their tactic is just to keep it on the road. And Louis Juin has Lilia Richard right up close as they go down the back straightaway for what's going to be the final time. Alfie Briggs heads into the double right-hander. I would think that Eriksson, Stipitz and Christensen would be very, very wise indeed not to do anything silly at this moment, because they're going to make sure that they get themselves through to that final without a front-fairing penalty. Oh, and there's more dramas. Louis Juin and Lilia Richard have just come together once again. They've come together this time. Juin out of the kart and Richard, and that was coming through into the penultimate chicane. But in the meantime, Alfie Briggs takes the victory by 0.864 seconds. Theo Eriksson in 2nd, Tim Stipitz in 3rd. Oscar Christiansen rounds out the top 5. Baptiste Schneider takes 5th. And by a miracle, I think that's what Scott Westhovens will be classing it as, takes 6th place. Mats Johan Overhoff has taken 7th, ahead of Lilia Richard, who's gotten a warning flag as well in the meantime. Kylian Ferrer, Baz Janssen ran out the top 10 positions. Améric Boré, Tom Vourou, Stéphane Lemonot and Miro Halika takes 14th. Louis Juin's kart will be recovered and taken back in, finishing in 15th. Lakir on Sorensen and Kieran Kay retiring on the first lap of the race, with Anthony Bilou, Arthur Hosch and Beard Dorrestein opting to not go into the second chance heat. But Alfie Briggs takes the win by just under 9/10 of a second here in the Senior Road Tax second chance heat.